Hello and welcome to Giant Mess, a sloppy sports and entertainment talk show hosted by Giant Mess. That's me, the real cinch, Neal Lynch. I am a New York Giants fan, New York Mets fan, and I love movies, TV, and comedy. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the New York Giants. They got a pretty big 3-night event. That's right, it's the 2024 NFL Draft preview for the New York Giants. So we'll take a look at the key position needs, what it means when a team visits with a player or a player visits a team pre-draft. The prospects come in, they talk to them. Does it mean anything in terms of what actually happens from that during the draft, and who were the visits? Do a little recap of that. Look at the draft targets from the Beast, Dane Brugler. Brugler. I don't know. 324-page document. Did I read it all? Not at all. Nope. So we'll look at the best fits at quarterback, wide receiver, and cornerback. Dan Duggan also gave us his take on what the ideal New York Giants draft looks like. I'll react to the Joe Schoen presser, even though I don't want to. And rumor has it there's an alternate helmet and an alternate uniform that the Giants are going to unveil or release soon. I don't know if it will actually happen for this season, but apparently it's happening soon. So I'll give my thoughts on that. So without further ado, let's get it started up in here. All right, let's talk about the Giants. The 2024 NFL Draft kicks off Thursday, April 25th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, round 1 only. We have rounds 2 and 3 on April 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then rounds 4 through 7 on Sunday, April 27th, starting at noon. I don't know why I love this weekend, but I do. It's the only draft I pay attention to, and I think this is going to be a pivotal draft for the Giants. I mean, it feels like every year has been a pivotal year for the Giants, but this especially because you're gonna know a lot about the direction of the organization. We have 6 picks. We have the 6th pick overall, the 47th, the 70th, the 107, 166, 183. So 1 through 6, we have a pick in each of those 6 rounds. We do not have a 7th round pick. We got the 2nd round pick in part of that Leonard Williams trade with the Seattle Seahawks. And then we got our 5th round pick from the 49ers via the Carolina Panthers, which I believe was that part of the Brian Burns pick? Maybe? I don't know. Brian Burns trade. Excuse. So we got 6 picks. Our positions of need: wide receiver, cornerback, safety, running back, defensive tackle. Some would say quarterback. I say nay. I'm not going to put quarterback amongst the needs. I don't think we need a quarterback. We need an offensive line to protect our quarterback so he doesn't break his fucking neck and tear his ACL. How about that? Let's try that. Corner, to me, has got to be the number one need, I feel like. And that's just because I have a very delusional amount of faith in our current wide receiver core. But that's going to be like, to not sign a free agent corner to fill in the vacancy by Adoree Jackson is like, okay, I get it. You've already spent so much on the offensive line and Brian Burns extension. I get it. But that worries me a lot. Even though I do like Nick McLeod, and Cordell Flott has shown flashes, I guess, here and there, it's like I don't have a tremendous amount of confidence. But Nick McLeod could prove me wrong. He's proven me wrong before. So, it's not so clear cut, wide receiver 1 with our first pick. But it is. It really is. I'm just saying, I really do think that next pick has got to be a cornerback. And, I know it's frowned upon, but trading up to get a corner, recent memory hasn't really worked out. When Dave Gettleman did it to pick up DeAndre Baker, we all applauded him because it was like, damn, we got Daniel Jones, we got Dexter Lawrence, and we got DeAndre Baker, top 3 picks. Whoa. What the fuck happened there? Jesus. So it's not other realm of possibilities that maybe Shane will draw if he has a guy in mind and he's available, and the trade is not King's ransom, then I think I wouldn't put it past him to do that. So Safety, obviously, another need. Not so much though as corner. I mean, I kind of dig what we got in Pinnock and Belton. I guess Belton's doing something, and I could be completely missing all the red flags, but he's got to be doing something on film that the coaching staff doesn't like. Because I watch games and it's never like, fucking Belton, where was he on that one? It's always like it felt like he was just coming up with big plays here and there, and it never felt like he was making really horrific errors. So safety, I'm not as worried about. I mean, we did sign Jalen Mills in free agency. Veteran presence, has been there, done that, playoff, Super Bowl. So maybe he can coach along Dane Belton. So I don't know that safety is really a priority. Corner's got to be the number one priority. 1B to wide receiver 1A. And running back and D tackle. Running back is also an interesting thing to me. I would put D tackle above running back. I don't know. I mean, we already have Devin Singletary, Gary Brightwell, Eric Gray, and now I think we signed what's his name? Nate Miller, Dante Miller. I think it's Dante Miller. So I mean, we already have 4 running backs. It would have to be like, if you could get the best running back in the draft in the 3rd round, I mean, I don't hate it. But to me, with the loss of Leonard Williams, and I guess Nacho too, was it Nacho or Ashawn? Ashawn left. I think we still have Nacho. We might have lost Nacho. I don't know. But you still have Davidson from a couple drafts ago, or was it 2 years ago, 2022 draft? You still have DJ Davidson, and you still have that breakout D tackle from preseason that didn't get to see a lot of playing time in the regular season, which was kind of a bummer because I think he had such a great preseason. Jordan Riley. It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. Because I mean, you watch that preseason and it's like, oh, he's like a certified backup, going to play less than 20% of snaps, but they will be good snaps. And I don't feel like that happened. So yeah, we still have Nacho, but yeah, right now, according to this depth chart, it's DJ Davidson, Dexter Lawrence, Raheem Nunez, Roche, aka Nacho. So yeah, I would opt for a D tackle unless there's like a the best prospect at running back falls in your lap. It does not look like we're going to draft O-line. I know that in a lot of the mock drafts that I did leading up to this, before free agency, it was like tackle at 1, guard at 2, center at 3. It was just like, I don't, kind of a joke mock draft, but I just, it's sad that it's taken them this long to publicly state that the offensive line situation has been an absolute dumpster fire for like a decade plus. Like it's crazy that it's taken them that long to publicly say, yes, it has been awful. It needs to be a priority. But it's not like we haven't tried. Like there's this chart. I'm going to try and read it. It's from Doug Analytics. And it's the offensive line draft allocation since 2020. So this only goes back to 2020, but you could probably go back to 20. I'd like to see what it was from 2012 to 2019, if it's the same as what's in this chart. But this chart basically shows that the Giants are far, way and above, like very top right of the chart, where I want to say almost 40% of our team's draft value was spent on offensive line. And our total value of offensive line draft picks is over 7,000. So like, you don't need to know much to know that we are way far right on that chart. So like the total value of the draft picks we've spent on the offensive line is very high. So we're talking 1st round, 2nd round, and then the percentage of our draft value spent on offensive line. So yeah, 1st round, 2nd round since 2020. I mean, Andrew Thomas, 1st round, Shane Lemieux. Yeah. So Evan Neal, John Michael Schmitz, so it's like we are drafting guys, but I don't feel like that was the case prior to 2020. It was like we draft a guy, but it would be like in the 6th or 7th round. It's like, oh, this guy's never going to start. And sure enough, that guy would never start. So it's just they have missed on the only offensive lineman they haven't really missed on so far, John Michael Schmitz excluded because it's like too soon to tell, I guess, is Andrew Thomas. That's it. So we're drafting him. We're just not doing anything. I thought I would talk about the visits, either the team visiting prospects or prospects visiting the team. You're only allowed 30 visits, apparently, or visits with 30 players. And so I thought this was interesting because I saw a stat in that same article. It said, I think it was like last year we visited with 18 players, and of those 18, we drafted 8 of them, something like that. So it's like, if we're spending time with them, odds are there's a healthy chance, a probability that we're going to draft them. So I thought it'd be interesting to they have it broken down here by tiers, but there were 26 known Giants visitors, prospects that visited with the Giants. The first rounders that visited: Jaden Daniels, Drake Maye, JJ McCarthy, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Nabers, Rome Odunze, and Joe Alt. JJ McCarthy first round. That's so interesting. Interesting things. So yeah, I mean that's just due diligence, because it's like if something wacky happens in the top 5, I just can't see us trading up. I mean, the last time we traded up that would require the kind of stuff that they're talking about was Eli Manning. Was that trade with the Chargers? So I mean, like, and that was huge, and that really, I don't want to say decimated, but it really took a huge chunk out of our draft capital over the next 2 years, I think. But worth it, So it's like, is there an Eli Manning amongst this group? I know this is after the fact, but GM Ernie Accorsi, I don't know if he wrote a letter, but he had an interview or something where he was just like enamored with this guy, with this kid, Eli Manning. This is a franchise changing, franchise quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback, and so that's why they gave up what they did to get him. Do you really think that that's the case with any of these guys? Is there an Eli Manning in the bunch? I think some people are very heavy on Drake Maye, including Dan Duggan, which we'll get to. But so those are the first rounders that visited with the Giants. In the second round, amongst the second rounders, QB Bo Nix, Jordan Morgan, offensive lineman, offensive guard Cooper Beebe, who I had in a lot of my mock drafts pre-free agency. And I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't hate it if they pulled the trigger on him. Defensive lineman Johnny Newton, cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry. Goddamn, we got to get that guy just for the name alone. And safety Jaden Hicks. I would love to have Cooper Beebe, Kool-Aid, and Jaden Hicks. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, man. The middle rounds. How many people do you think made that joke? Everyone? Get in line, Neal. The middle rounds. QB Spencer Rattler. I felt like for so long is a hard pass for me, just because I've seen video of him being such a dick to or not a dick, just so cocky and arrogant, but also kind of being demeaning. I mean, it's one video. You shouldn't really, the amount of videos I put out where people are like, oh, this guy's a complete asshole. No, thank you. We're approaching the dozens of hundreds of thousands. So I shouldn't judge him on that, but maybe, that's also when he was much younger in high school and he was like 5-star recruit. And so I get to give him some grace, right? Give myself some grace. I'll give some Spencer Rattler some grace. Running back Trey Benson is interesting from FSU. Running back Audric Estime. I think he's from Penn State. I'm not sure. Tight end Ben Sinnott. Offensive tackle Petra Paul. Defensive tackle Mason Smith. And cornerback Andrew Phillips. In terms of late round and undrafted, I don't think we need to go over that. So, that's minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 19 possible draft picks. And there's a possibility that we'll get at least 3 of them. Oh, no, sorry. 1, 2, 6 of them. We could do 6 of these guys. Of those, the 6 that I would pick. Trey Benson, Ben Sinnott, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Jaden Hicks, Malik Nabers. If Marvin Harrison is available. That's going to torture me leading up to this. Dane Brugler. I've only seen it in text, never heard the name in audio. Sorry. He puts out The Beast, which is a 324-page draft guide. Dear God, I did not read it. I tried to read some of it, but he Luckily, one of the other writers combed through it and picked out the key fits or prospects that fit best with the Giants. In the first round, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. He's number 2 on the top 100 prospects list, the best wide receiver, according to Dane. 6'3", 209. Going to be 22 years old. 67 catches, 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns in 12 games. I think what draws me to him, but also is deterring, so pros and cons, right? The pros are dominant receiving traits, can win from anywhere on the field, route savvy, can adjust, can finish at the catch point. One of the best receiving prospects to enter the NFL in recent memory. And the pro is dedication to his craft to be a playmaking number 1 NFL receiver and future All-Pro. His discipline and dedication to the craft might be the most impressive part. So that, to me, is like, it feels less risky, right? It's like, okay, that's if he's available, yeah, you take him because that's the pick. But the cons, I believe, were his he takes plays off a lot and doesn't block. Then again, it's like Marvin Harrison, his dad, Marvin Harrison, with the Colts. It's like that guy was just precision-based routes, never dropped the ball, and had the quarterback with the type of accuracy to deliver on time. Sheriff. Does he have that with Daniel Jones? Maybe not, but maybe so. That's all DJ has been asking for. I mean, I guess he does latch on to one guy. Like 2019 was Darius Slayton. It felt like that was going to be a nice connection for years to come, and it's kind of off and on since then. But yeah, is this going to be a case where DJ just constantly locks in on Harrison? But and not explosive, right? Doesn't break Harrison doesn't break tackles. Not a very elusive with the ball. Not a lot of yak, right? So it's like he feels like he's the conservative, safe bet. He's going to run great routes. He's going to catch the ball, which, I mean, is great. If you can get open and catch the ball, what more can you ask for? So it's not the sexiest pick. This next guy is sexy as fuck. And he may be too hot to handle, too hot for TV. Wide receiver Malik Nabers, number 3 on the top 100 prospects list, according to Brugler. Second best wide receiver behind Marvin Harrison, although there's been some debate about that amongst executives in the NFL. Some saying that Malik is better than Marv. 6 foot, 200, not even 21 yet. He'll be 21 when training camp starts. 89 catches, almost 1,600 yards, 14 TDs in 13 games. Can accelerate and decelerate on command. Explosive, as explosive an option as there is in this draft. One of the youngest players in the class. Only the second player in LSU history with multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons. And if you guessed OBJ, you'd be wrong. It's Josh Reed. Okay. This is what stood out to me. This is the only thing that I read in Dane Brugler's Beast Guide that I thought was worth pulling out. 78.7% of his catches in 2020. I don't know if this is in 2023 or overall, went for a first down or touchdown. Almost 80% of catches went for a first down or touchdown. I get it. It's college football. Things are a little different. If he can if we can get 50%, 40 to 60% of his catches for a first down or touchdown, I'm going to be a very happy dude. He also had at least one catch of 20 or more yards in every game of 2023. So that's what makes this guy so damn sexy. The fact that he can deep vertical threat, big chunk plays, which the Giants have missed for so goddamn long, ever since OBJ. They kind of get him here and there from Jalen Hyatt, and they kind of get him here and there from Darius Slayton, but this seems like a guy who's more consistent in that area. So that's why I was thinking, like, okay, maybe I'd go Nabers over Harrison. The one detractor, and this is not, I mean, who am I, right? Why am I judging? He was arrested on Bourbon Street in New Orleans on February 2023 for illegally carrying a weapon. And the misdemeanor charge was dropped. So it's like, As Giants fans, we're a little sensitive to a Giants wide receiver having a weapon, most notably a gun, and being out and about in social settings. You know what I'm saying? Plaxico Burress. So that does scare me a bit, where it's like, oh no, just make sure you have a holster, maybe. Don't tuck it in your sweatpants. Just, I don't know, personal experience. So yeah, I guess if Harrison's there, you got to take him over Nabers. And and by the way, I love the way OBJ played. So this guy feels like another OBJ-ish type player, Nabers. And I like the way that he played, but oh boy, it got to be a bit much with the on-field and off-field antics. Every time he scores, it's like, oh, please don't get a flag. Please don't get a flag. So, it wasn't boring, tell you that much. But would I rather have, Marvin Harrison Sr.'s career or OBJ's? It's like, I guess Marvin Harrison Sr., who also had like a gun incident. Why do I think that? In 2008, Marvin Harrison was a suspect in a shooting. Investigators said a gun owned by Harrison was used in a shooting a man who accused the Colts receiver of shooting him. But a year later, Dixon was shot again in 2009 and died 2 months later. Harrison was listed as a person of interest in that case. Everyone's got their problems, So Nabers versus Harrison, it seems like that's going to, unless something fucking wacky happens, which it very well could, I think that's the choice. Harrison or Nabers, and Harrison might be off the board. So it's like Nabers. I guess Rome Odunze is your third option that you could throw in the mix. But, well, here's another fit, according to Dane Brugler. Quarterback Drake Maye, number 4 on the top 100 prospects list. Second highest ranked quarterback behind Caleb Williams. I like his size, 6'4", 223, 21 years old. Threw for 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, and only 9 picks in 12 games. What bothers me about this guy, reckless decisions. So the pros are he's a well put together passer with on-field command, athletic instincts, and arm talent. Has the physical gifts and smarts. The player comp is Justin Herbert, who I know I was on board with selecting Justin Herbert in 2019. The only problem was he didn't come out until 2020. If he had come out in 2019, I think we would have drafted him. And oh, how sweet that would be. But alas, we drafted Daniel Jones, and here we are talking about Drake Maye. So he produced the 2 most productive quarterback seasons in school history, and he's got So I mean, it's the reckless decisions that kills me, because it's like I don't know. I mean, yeah, you have someone like Brett Favre that was reckless and a gunslinger. I guess you have Patrick Mahomes. Would you consider Patrick Mahomes to be reckless? Because he does a lot of off-platform throws, a lot of improvisation. We've seen him throw passes that hardly anyone has ever thrown in NFL history. So, I guess also the cons on. So in addition to reckless decisions, trying to push and put more on himself to produce, especially in the second half of his team's down, like maybe forcing the ball or turning the ball over. So I don't know. I'm not completely sold on him, but maybe I just need to watch more tape. I've watched very little tape on anybody. Why are you even trusting me with this shit? Rome Odunze, number 6 on the top 100 list, third best wide receiver, 6'2", 212, going to be 22. 92 catches, 1,600 yards, 13 tutties in 15 games. Above average height, weight, speed, pass catching instincts, competitive focus. Has the skill level to elevate his quarterback's play. That's cool. Stylistically similar to Drake London. Now, I remember a lot of people being very high on Drake London during fantasy football draft season, and I don't know what did he actually do during this season. Because like elevating a quarterback's play, that'd be nice. Oh yeah, so he had 72 catches, almost 900 yards in 2022, and 4 touchdowns, and then he had 69 catches, 900 yards, and 2 touchdowns in 2023. But that's with the Falcons, who didn't really have solid quarterback play. So I guess I don't hate that comparison. Would I? I mean, I would not be sad, mad, pissed off, panties in a bunch if we drafted this dude. If somehow Nabers and Marv are off the board and Rome's there, yeah, grab him, 100%. Even if Maye falls, this is what's so crazy. If Maye falls to us and it's between Maye and Odunze, I'm going to Odunze. I don't know. I'm a DJ loyalist. I have a very severe mental problem disorder where I believe in this guy. I just hate taking draft capital on a position that you just invested in. And I know that's like the new thing where it's like, we don't like NFL executives, especially, or I guess it's across most pro sports. It's like, we don't give a shit if we just threw the bank at this guy. When we know it's time to move on, we need to move on. Like the Broncos with Russell Wilson. It's like, this is obviously not working out. We just gave up the fucking, we gave up the whole goddamn reserves for this dude and it didn't pay off. So we're moving on and we're just going to have to pay the bill, pay the penalty. So, do we want to be in that position? I don't think so. If you were to trade up, like, and if this quarterback is so great, would you is Daniel Jones part of the package? Like, are you trading Daniel Jones to the Patriots, being like, hey, listen, change of scenery, maybe he can do something for you while you look like you guys are not sold on these quarterbacks for whatever reason. We'll give you Daniel Jones and we'll get your 3 pick and then, whatever. I don't know. It's just nice to have a big body. Well, I guess he's not too big, but he primarily lined up outside, but he can line up in the slot. Commitment and toughness. Oh, I love that in a wide receiver. He suffered a broken rib and punctured lung, recovering an onside kick in 2023, but didn't miss any time. Oh, damn, homie. I mean, that's like Bobby Okereke shit. Bobby Okereke broke his rib, played the whole season. So I do admire that a lot. That's cool. Because, I mean, as great as it is to have burners and guys that can make plays, if you get one hard hit and you're out for 6 games, like that sucks. So I would be ecstatic if we got him. Literally any of those 3 guys, I'd be over the moon getting them. I do think like all 3 of them, Nabers is the biggest risk. I feel like Nabers is the biggest risk, right? Harrison is like, that's just like, he's going to give you solid numbers, but he's not going to give you the kind of explosive play that you're hoping for, right? Maybe. I mean, we already have a couple guys that can go deep. So maybe it's not necessarily, don't need that deep vertical threat. Anywho, but I do like a tough guy. Nice tough guy. I don't know that we've ever had like I don't know. So yeah, I would love any of those guys, but Nabers is the riskiest. The biggest upside, I feel like, but also the biggest downside. Marvin Harrison's the conservative safe bet. Rome Odunze is like a nice last resort kind of thing where it's like safety net, but also is not going to kill your team. It's going to help your team. Is he going to help your team as much as Marvin Harrison or Malik Nabers? Probably not. If Nabers turns out to be what everyone says he'll be. But if Nabers doesn't, it's going to look good for us. Brock Bowers is next. It would be nuts if we draft him, but it's also like he's the best tight end in the draft, 7th overall in the top 100 prospects, 6'3", 243, 21 years old. Explosive pass catcher who creates mismatches with speed and ball skills. In the mold of George Kittle. Damn. You're telling me you don't want the next George Kittle? Okay, cool. You don't want the next George Kittle. That's fine. But it is a tough sell as this excerpt mentions, to take a tight end with a top 10 draft pick. But I mean, this is what happens when Darren Waller is being a weirdo. Not a weirdo. when he's having an existential crisis, it's like, do I want to rap for the rest of my life? Or I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's Bowers seems like more of a pick if they trade down. If someone really wants to get to the 6th pick, which, we'll get to it with Joe Schoen's presser, but you can't completely roll out teams drafting up or trading up to get that 6th pick. And if they do, it could be we just fall a couple slots, like 3 or 4 slots, and it's like Bowers is there. Your top 3 receivers are gone. I wouldn't hate that. Jaden Daniels is next. He's number 8 on the top 100 list. Third highest ranked quarterback, 6'3", 210. He's 23, threw for 3,300 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions in 12 games. Whoa. Dazzling run skills, smooth point guard from the pocket. This is not an apples to apples comparison, but NFL scouts say he forces opponents to defend him like Lamar Jackson. High praise, high praise. 2 seasons as a starter at LSU, won the Heisman, first player in college football history with 12,000 plus passing yards and 3,000 plus rushing yards in a career. Very accomplished. Offers even more running upside than Jones, than DJ. So yeah, I mean, he's played so many seasons. I looked at his the breakdown of his seasons, and it's like, how the fuck? He played for 17 seasons. Offensive guard Troy Fontenot is the best guard in the draft. Number 9 on the top 100 list. 6'3", 317, 23 years old. 15 starts in 15 games in 2023. Washington Husky. Legitimate 5-position potential. Okay. Stacks wins in both pass protection and as a run blocker, which is great to see. So again, I think that's a situation where if we were to trade back, I can't see us taking that guy at 6. We do need a guard, and it would be nice. I kind of the idea of having even a top 15 offensive line makes me giddy. We have ranked in the bottom of the NFL. Our offensive line has for so many years. It's at the point now where it's like, if you were to just stack the offensive line with as many prospects as possible, top prospects, and just see what comes out of the wash, I'd be completely fine with it and just ignore all the skill positions. Cause it's like, if they can run block and open holes for Devin Singletary has shown that he's got pretty good yards per carry. And then if you can pass protect, DJ gets that extra split second to survey the field and see the guy wide open downfield, then, I'm all for it. JJ McCarthy is next on the list. JJ McCarthy, ranked 21 on the top 100 list. He's the 4th highest ranked quarterback, 6'2", 219, 21 years old. Threw for less than 3,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 4 INTs in 15 games. It's crazy how much this guy has skyrocketed up the charts and on the big board. It just seemed like, he's guaranteed 2nd round, maybe even 3rd round, pick. And now there's now talk about him being drafted by the Giants at 6. What? Or maybe someone said trading up to take him. What? Yikes. I just can't see it. NFL executives and scouts rank the draft's top QBs. He scares the hell out of me. Okay, that's another article. Idiot. So as far as the 2nd round goes, those were all 1st round fits. In terms of 2nd round, you got Kool-Aid McKinstry. Love the name. Number 30 on the top 100 list. 5th best corner. 5'11", 196, 21 years old from Alabama. 32 tackles, no picks, 7 passes defended in 14 games. Doesn't play with a high level speed or aggression, but long, smooth athlete with high football IQ. Reminds me of James Bradbury. Well, what are you talking about? 2020 James Bradbury, 2021 James Bradbury. So that kind of bittersweet kind of mention and reference there. He's a proven McKinstry's a proven outside corner. Both Malik Nabers and fellow LSU wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. called him the best corner they faced in college. But I don't hate it. That would be fun. Kool-Aid and Banks on the outside. I love it. Bo Nix, quarterback out of Oregon. 44 in the top 100, 5th best quarterback, 6'2", 214, age 24. This motherfucker graduated from Auburn in December of 2021, yet played 2 more full college football seasons. What's going on? What happened? I feel like Bo Nix has been around since 2011. It's nuts. He threw for 4,500 yards, 45 touchdowns, 3 picks in 14 games last year. He gets in trouble when he plays loose, and his technique stinks, and his eyes speed up. But his scrambling can give defenses fits. It feels unlikely he will ever rank among the 15 best quarterbacks in the NFL. So he has the tools to become a middle-of-the-road starter. Yeah. So I don't know. I remember when we had 2 second-round picks, I was like, I wouldn't mind drafting a quarterback like Nix or Penix with one of our 2 second-round picks, but then we gave one of them away, and it's like, well, now I would not spend a second-round pick on a quarterback. So I'd probably pass on Nix and Penix, to be honest. Then we have wide receiver Ricky Pearsall from Florida, 45 on the top 100, ninth best receiver, 6'1", 191, almost 24 years old. He caught 65 balls for almost 1,000 yards, 4 tutties in 12 games. Wasn't a home run hitter on tape, but a reliable receiving options with route quickness and ball squills. Squills. Skrillex? Yeah, I mean, he's nicknamed Slick Rick because of how he shakes free in his roots. So, if we do get a little weird with the first pick, you can't go wide receiver, right? In round 1, round 2. But I guess if you miss on one of the 3 receivers, something gets crazy and you got to go wide receiver second round. Slick Rick, y'all. Quarterback Ennis Rakestraw Jr., 7th best cornerback, 49th on the top 100 list, 5'11", 183, almost 22 years old from Mizzou. 35 tackles, no picks, 3 passes defended in 9 games. Does not have the desired long speed or build for his position. Injury history is a concern, but he plays aggressive, sticky coverage. Man cover talent if he stays healthy, but it's a health thing. Again, that scares me. The whole health thing. And I know, Shane Lemieux was never hurt, never missed a start at Oregon, and then has missed so many starts in games with the Giants. So it's like, you don't want to judge people on injury history, but it's hard not to. Dude, it's scary. Defensive tackle, Rook Orajo, 4th best defensive tackle in the draft, according to Dane. 51st on the top 100, 6'4", 294, 22 years old from Clemson, 22 tackles, 8 tackles for loss. Whoa, 5 sacks in 12 games. Can play multiple positions, inside and out, undeveloped pass rush instincts, and finishing skills. I feel like they say the same thing about Dexter Lawrence. Like, oh, he's a run stuffer. He'll never rush the quarterback. He doesn't pressure the quarterback. And he pressures the quarterback. So I don't know if I necessarily believe this. But second round for a D tackle, I just can't see it happening. He's the 4th best D tackle. I can't see that. Michael Penix Jr., 6th highest ranked quarterback, 52 on the top 100 overall prospect, 6'2", 216, almost 24 years old. 3 for 4,900 yards, 36 touchdowns, 11 picks in 15 games. This is another guy who played for 6 or 7 seasons. Thanks, COVID. He's inconsistent, but has a really strong arm. Also has an injury history. The more I think about Penix, the more I'm out on him. I just can't bring myself to pull the trigger on that. Quarterback TJ Tampa, 8th highest ranked cornerback, 55 on the top 100, 6 foot, 194, 22 years old. Iowa State Cyclone. 44 tackles, 2 picks, 9 passes defended in 12 games. Tampa gets a little sticky with his footwork at the top of routes, but he doesn't lose much separation and plays with the size, range, and ball skills to be disruptive. Has the tools and potential to be a starting perimeter cornerback in various schemes. Ooh, yeah, 3-year starter. Ugh. It's been durable, and he only missed 1 game over 3 seasons, previous seasons. So yeah, I kind of dig that. I didn't really know about this dude until recently, but the more I hear about him, the more I like him. They have an edge rusher in here as a potential fit. This is the last one of the list. Adisa Isaac, number 65 on the top 100, 7th highest ranked edge rusher, 6'4", 247, 22 years old from Penn State, 37 tackles, 16 tackles for loss. Damn. 7.5 sacks. Damn. In 13 games in 2023. So, initially my knee-jerk reaction was like, an edge rusher in the second round? No fucking way. But then you think about Azeez Ojulari. I want to say it's a free agent year for him, but I'm probably wrong. He's going to go into free agency after the season. So it's like, yeah, he's in the final year of his contract, injury history, can't be counted on. So is this a guy that you can just slot in for Azeez, have him develop under Kayvon and Brian Burns, And then if Kayvon decides to hit the road and get more cash somewhere else, then you have this guy waiting in the wings. I don't know. Not too high on it. So yeah, those are the fits for the Giants in the first, second, possibly third rounds. Dan Duggan from The Athletic also had what his ideal New York Giants draft will look like. Drake Maye was in the lead image. So take a wild guess what he's all for. Mr. Duggan, who he's pulling for. He says if Maye is available at number 3, he would trade up with the Patriots. His lowball offer would be obviously our pick at number 6, our second round pick this year, and a second round pick next year. And the maximum trade offer he would do would be the 6, the 47. So our first round pick or second round pick this year, a fourth round pick this year, and a first round pick next year. Holy shit. Really? Oh, can you imagine making that trade and he does not pan out? Oh my God. And so Duggan, which I've seen this quote before, but he included this, to kind of like couch or provide some context for Drake Maye and that fucking ridiculous trade offer. He said Bills general manager Brandon Beane once said, was once asked about how much he gave up in a trade for quarterback Josh Allen in the 2018 draft. He said, I'm like, well, if he doesn't work out, I'm not going to be here anyway. If he does work out, nobody's going to give a shit. Huh. Interesting. It's a badass quote, but I don't want my GM saying it. I don't know. It's like that could sincerely, like Allen worked out for the most part for the Bills. So it's like, if it, and Josh Allen, there was, I don't know that he was necessarily considered a slam dunk. There's a lot of question marks, even though the guys from Part of My Take were all about it. Looks good in shorts, big hands. But that's so many that's a lot of draft capital. Oh boy. It's really, does Joe Schoen have the same kind of feelings about Drake Maye that Ernie Accorsi had about Eli Manning? It's a huge, big time risk. I wouldn't take it. I would say we have our draft picks. We have our guys that we like, and we don't have to give up anything for them. Let's do it. So if Maye isn't available at 3, he says you can't go wrong with Nabers, Malik Nabers, or Rome Odunze, and he gives the edge to Nabers because of his game-breaking big playability. And like I said, I have to agree that round 1, it's got to be a wide receiver who is going to start and is going to make an impact from day 1. Round 2, he says that they should go with the best player available at number 47 and lean towards defense. He has cornerback, D tackle, and safety amongst the positions that are being considered. At safety, it's Washington State's Jaden Hicks, who I mentioned before, Georgia's Javon Bullard. So I wouldn't be too miffed if they went safety. I guess Clemson's Rook Ororo, who we talked about as the top defensive tackle at this in the second round. I think you got to go corner. I really do. And I wouldn't be shocked, like I said, if they decided to trade up to get the corner that they want. Michigan's Mike, I mean, that's essentially what we did with Banks, was it not? Didn't we trade up to get Banks? I think we did. So yeah, I'll do it again. I'm for it. The 3 corners that Duggan mentions, Michigan's Mike Sanrizzo. That's a pass because I can't pronounce his name. Missouri's Ennis Registraw, who we talked about. Iowa State's TJ Tampa, who we talked about. Of the 3, I need to know more about this Mike Sanrizzo. But I would say that Ennis Registraw or TJ Tampa, one of the 2, I lean towards Tampa. And then, so that's second round. Third round, Duggan's got either a wide receiver, tight end, D tackle, edge, or safety. In terms of wide receivers, at South Carolina's Xavier Legette, who's a big dude. Washington's Jalen Polk. For tight end, he has Penn State's Theo Johnson. Could be a pass catching target. Yeah, I mean, you do have to think about, you got to draft a tight end in this draft, but it's like corner's a bigger need. If you go with Brock Bowers, you don't need to think about a wide receiver 1 because that's essentially like your tight end. Your tight end would be the wide receiver 1B, essentially what Darren Waller was supposed to be this past season. So I guess if you don't go wide receiver, so if you You just got to draft a tight end. It's got to be someone who can, if not a starter this year, close to being a starter the next year. Like it's got to be in that range. Although I don't know. Maybe you do decide to like punt on tight end this year and say we'll get him next year in free agency. I don't know. Defensive tackle, he has Florida State's Braden Fisk. He's got the edge rusher Adisa Isaac. Round 3. Again, edge rusher, that's a tough sell for me. And then Minnesota Golden Gophers safety Tyler Nubin, or Utah's Cole Bishop. I think Tyler Nubin would be a good pick here. Safety at 3. You got wide receiver 1, cornerback 2, safety 3. Kind of dig it. Round 4, he's got a running back or tight end. Wisconsin's Braylon Allen would be the running back. And then tight ends would be Kansas State's Ben Sinnott, who we talked about. TCU's Jared Wiley. Maryland's Delmar Glaze. Wisconsin's Tanner Bortolini. Missouri's Javon Fostet. Of those, I guess Ben Sinnott is the guy that I know I'm most familiar with and that I would be comfortable with. So if you do go safety round 3, well, then you got Ben Sinnott sitting there at round 4 tight end. But again, I just don't think, people are talking about Trey Benson from Florida State, and I don't know if it's round 2 or round 3. You're not going to take him. It would have to be a trade up situation again. It's like you get your wide receiver where you want him in the first round, no moves. You get your corner at round 2, no moves. And then Benson's still out there. I guess then you would trade up and get him. But if it's not Benson, I don't know that you're going to get. It looks like it's not going to be until the 4th and 5th round that you would get a running back. 5th round, he's got, again, running back. That's it. That's all he has for 5th round. Purdue's Tyrone Tracy, Louisville's Isaac Garendo, Clemson's Xavier Thomas, Troy's Javon Solomon. Oh, no, those are edge rushers. Idiot. Garendo's. So, these are all edge rushers. Okay. So no running backs. What the fuck is happening here? Yeah, he's got edge rushers again. Isaac Garendo from Louisville. 4.33 40-second. 4.33 40-yard dash. Could add a big play element at the backfield and that kick returner. Oh, that's a running back. What is happening? Oh, these are edge rushers. Jesus. So Isaac Garendo is a running back, and then the other 2 are edge rushers. Again, I don't know that I would go all in on it. I don't know if I would draft an edge rusher this year that's not highly rated, highly ranked. It's like, let's see what Aziz has got. I don't think you need, next year could be the year that you draft it just doesn't feel pressing that you get Burns and Kayvon. So round 6, he's got Illinois' Keith Randolph, 6'3", 296-pound defensive tackle. So yeah, as long as you can cross all those off the list, I think we'll be mostly happy. I think that the order has been pretty much locked down, and it goes wide receiver, corner, safety, running back, tight end, safety, tight end, running back, D tackle. That's kind of like what you're looking at there. Yeah. So, to come away from this, like, again, look at if he trades for Drake Maye, we lose our 2nd round, we lose our 4th rounder. So we're down to 4 picks this year. And we get Drake Maye, a safety, a running back, and a D tackle. Where's your corner? You need a fucking corner, dude. I guess Duggan still is of the belief that we're going to scoop up a veteran after the June 1st cuts, I think. Which yeah, okay, sure. That could work. I would just, that's not preferred. I would like to get a corner in the draft. Someone that is going to be around for the next 4 years, because you're going to have to deal with this bullshit against next year. Once the vet you signed is like, are you going to sign him to a 2-year deal? I don't know. So I don't like that version of that draft card. So so if we don't trade for Drake Maye, it would be Nabers with our first pick, TJ Tampa, the corner from Iowa State, 2nd round, Tyler Nubin, the safety from Minnesota, 3rd round, Ben Sinnott, tight end from Kansas State, Isaac Garendo, running back from Louisville, and Keith Randolph, defensive lineman from Illinois. So I like that draft a lot. Dan Duggan, you son of a bitch. You done aced it with that. Just forget about Drake Maye. Okay? Put that to bed. That's a good draft. I feel really good about that draft. Barring injury or misdemeanor charges, Nabers should be our wide receiver 1. Tampa will compete for the cornerback 2 slot. Newbin can battle with Dane Belton, so it's good competition in the secondary. Me like. Ben Sinnott, tight end. That's a great insurance for Darren Waller. Isaac Grendo is kind of like could be a diamond in the rough type thing that maybe it's not exactly David Wilson, but along those lines, could be a David Wilson-esque type running back for us that is like equally as effective in the return game. And then you can never do wrong with some more depth along the defensive line. So, good boy, Dan Duggan. All right, I guess I guess I could give my reactions to the Joe Schoen presser. I don't put any kind of trust or faith or interest in when a GM talks pre-draft to the media or the press. What the fuck is he gonna say that is gonna change? Unless he's just flat out dumb. Like, he's not going to tip his card. He's not going to show his cards, keep his cards close to the chest. Like, he's not going to say anything of any real significance or importance. So I don't know why this is even worth my breath. But here we go. He agrees that this draft is deep at the receiver position. I mean, the fact that there's 3 guys that we can consider with our first pick, and we should be happy with any of the 3 is like saying something. He spoke highly of Jalen Hyatt, Wandale, and Darius Slayton. With regards to Darius Slayton not coming to the voluntary workouts, it's happened before, and he understands it. He's good friends with Slayton's agent. He understands why he's not there. So, I guess you don't want to make a mountain of a molehill, but I will. He signed a deal a little over 12 months ago. It was a 2-year deal. Is this now him coming back and saying, I want more money? What a fucking roller coaster for Darius Slayton. He went from, you're going to get cut if you don't take a pay cut, to now I got a new deal and I want another new deal a year after signing that deal. Okay. Giants are giving Darren Waller his space as he mulls retirement. They've had conversations with his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, and they have not given Darren Waller a deadline. It sounds like it's like, Darren, you do you, dude. Like, we traded for you. We wanted you to be the tight end that you've shown flashes of your potential with the Raiders, and you were like, top breakout tight end. We'd love to have that version of you. But if you really are, you feel like this is not it for you, then Godspeed. That's why you have to take a tight end in the draft. You just have to. And I don't know that it can be a 5th, 6th, 4th rounder. 4th rounder maybe, but a 5th or 6th rounder, I don't know that's really going to help things. No setbacks with Daniel Jones. Great to hear. He progressed to running straight line and throwing as he comes back from his injury. Shane's comfortable with going into the season with the 3 quarterbacks they currently have, and I couldn't agree more. Drew Lock beat the Eagles. Daniel Jones won a playoff game. Tommy DeVito, undrafted, beat the Packers. It's like these. I like all 3 of those dudes. They all have. I'm not saying they're perfect. All 3 have their downsides and their deficiencies, but it's not. I mean, you think about the quarterback rooms that we've had over the years. Holy shit! This might be one of the better quarterback rooms that we've had in a long time. Like, name a better quarterback room. I mean, I want to say Eli Manning and David Carr was 2008, I think, was probably your best quarterback room most recently. I mean, I guess when you had Eli, Daniel Jones, 2019, that was probably the best. But since then, Tyrod's great, but I don't think so. I think we're even with last year's. I know that's insane to say because Tyrod is more experienced and has done more in his career, but that's how highly I think of Drew Lock. I just kind of like the guy. I don't know why. He's smooth, like Jagger. Offensive tackle Evan Neal is progressing well, quote unquote. Shane saw him and said he looks good and in good spirits. Cool. It's like, oh, he wasn't shit talking about Giants fans? That's good. Oh boy. That's going to be one of the interesting position battle that I'm very high on. That's what because I just can't. I mean, I don't know. I can't see them just handing the starting job to Evan Neal. I can't see it. I see this new dude they brought in and signed who is like the opposite anti-Evan Neal, where he is just like nonstop saying how happy he is to be a New York Football Giant. I honestly, I mean, you want me to put odds on it, probability? I think that dude is our starting right tackle. And I think then Evan Neal has to battle with someone else at right guard, maybe even someone we draft. Cooper Beebe, what? And this is what I kind of hinted at in the previous segment. Giants have surprisingly gotten a lot of calls from teams behind them to trade up to get the 6th spot. I didn't think I'd have as much activity at 6 from people behind me as we've gotten. So those are options too, as we look at if we go back, how far back do we want to go? Yeah. Dude, if you can pick up I mean, we only have 6 picks. If the guys you want are gone at 6, which is kind of hard to believe, unless it's a quarterback. Like if it's one of the quarterbacks, Caleb's gone, Maye's gone, Daniel's gone. Maybe it's Daniel's not gone. If the 3 wideouts, if it's Williams, Maye, Harrison, Nabers, Odunze, and then 6 comes up and we got Daniels staring at us, and someone wants Daniels and is willing to give up a pick or 2 or 3 or 4, the quarterback tax as it were, you got to entertain it, dude. You got to entertain it. And if Jaden Daniels goes on and is like a fucking all pro for the rest of his life, I'm fine with that. That's just hard to turn down. You can then go back and maybe then you can get Brock Bowers and a nice corner. It's interesting. Oh boy. So fucking excited, dude. And then I'll round things out for Giants talk with the rumors and speculation that the Giants will have an alternate helmet, an alternate uniform for the 2024 season. I believe it's the 2024 season. It's apparently it's gonna be revealed soon. I don't know when. I've been trying to get more into artificial intelligence, AI, and I asked AI, I was like, generative AI, I was like, hey, the New York Giants are a football team in the National Football League. They're a professional football team. They please design a alternate helmet for them for the 2024 season. And AI was just like, I can give you their current helmet and then put a little flare on it. there was one where it's like, it's basically the current logo and then it had the red, white, and blue stars and stripes kind of faded in. And I was like, I don't hate it. If they do end up wearing that, that's cool. But for the most part, it was like, nope, nothing turned out, because I was kind of pumped. I was like, oh, I'll turn out all the different options. It'll be great. And then nope. And then these rumored alternate uniforms, I don't know why people do this. There's no way this is valid. There's no way this is legitimate. There's no way this is true or accurate. These fucking alternate uniforms that have been leaked, it's Photoshop. It's not leaked. It's like Photoshopped. Like, this is the rumored alternate uniform. It's like, no, it's not. There's no fucking way it is. They look, the jersey. So I think it's a red helmet with the white NY lettering. I don't know if it's a red face mask or a white face mask or a gray face mask, but the jersey is what is out of control. I'm not huge on the red jerseys. It's red top and bottom of the jersey, and then a blue stripe with white border across the chest, so that the number is going across, is basically going through all 3 levels, the top, middle section with the blue, and then the bottom red. The NHL responded and was like, this looks like the Habs. And it's like, I can't unsee it. We're going to look like the Montreal Canadiens. Jesus Christ. Hard no. So I think in an alternate universe, I am a uniform designer. I think I am. It bothers me how awful a lot of these designs have been over I don't know how long. It's just like awful. And then they always have these bullshit, even like the Broncos. The Broncos revealed their new uniforms, which I kind of dig. See if I can find it here. Let's see here. The Mile High collection. Let's see. So yeah, I don't hate that one. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. Personally, I like the white helmet. The white helmet with the, their standard Denver Broncos logo, the new one. I say new, it's been around for fucking 30 years. And then the kind of the navy blue, dark blue tops. I don't know if I'd match it with the blue bottoms, but it's not bad. That's my favorite of the 3 or 4 because they have the orange up top, orange on bottom. I guess the helmet is a darker blue. I don't know. It doesn't the helmet doesn't look different. I don't know. I brought this up to say I was looking on Twitter and it was like these designers, these companies. Here it is. Jesus Christ. They have a picture of the guy in the uniform and it's like if you took away the shoulder, the updated I guess they call it a sleeve cap on the shoulder. If you take that away, you'd be like, these are the same exact uniforms. But then they fucking hyper zoom in to everything and have these little box call outs like triangles, dissipating triangle perforation in front and back numbers nods to thinning something higher elevation. What, dude? First of all, like you can't even see that. Like they had to zoom in. It was like enhance. Like you had to zoom in so far just to see these, and you're not going to see them on game day on TV or at home. Performance vents, and they have Broncos country on the collar. I don't know, dude. Like this one, the Summit white. We have a triangle logo with a plus sign on the back of the neck. No one's gonna fucking see that. The sleeve cap to me is the biggest. Like that's it. That really is the biggest difference is the sleeve cap, which is, I mean, admittedly, it's a good sleeve cap. It kind of is similar to the Colorado Rockies City Connect uniform, where it's like it's got a little bit of that Rockies element to it, which I dig. The Midnight Navy, though, that's the one that's fucking cool, dude. I don't care. I mean, the sleeve cap's there again, pant stripe, whatever. The 5280 mile high, dear God. But it's that white Broncos logo on the white helmet, and then those Midnight Navies with the sleeve cap. Those are my fave. All right, Jesus Christ. That's all I got. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. So grateful for your ears and your eyes. I promise when I harvest them, they're gonna go top dollar. Next episode, we're looking at probably a draft reaction to the Giants. It's probably going to be. I can't see us. I have confidence that it's going to be a good reaction to what our haul. We might mix in a Lamette stock. I would like to. That'll be on next week. The next episode might be focused on Fallout. I just finished Fallout on Amazon Prime Video, so I'll give my thoughts on that. And then I would like to talk a little bit about X-Men 97. I gave my initial reaction to episode 1. I was completely out of it. So I didn't give a lot of coherent, logical thought on it. But now that I've seen the whole series, God damn, it's good. And now I need to go back and watch. I've forgotten, there were 5 or 6 seasons prior to this in the early to mid 90s. And so it's like, damn, I gotta cycle back through that because I'm fiending. And the Deadpool versus Wolverine official trailer just hit. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I mean, I need to see it ASAP. I don't know how to get an advanced screening. I don't know how to get IMAX, but it needs to happen. So, yeah, that's it. Lots of good stuff on the horizon. And yeah, I mean, that's all I got. So thank you. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I know they're just words. And I know actions speak louder than words, more so than other people. All right, that's enough. Adios, muchachos.